Now, in today's session, we are going to discuss about requirements engineering. So, what is the engineering here? Engineering means it's a step by step process to collect the requirements for our project. Okay, to gather or to collect or to analyze the requirements of our project in a step by step approach is called requirements engineering here. Clear? This requirements engineering has, okay, so six phases here. The first one is inception. First one is inception. So inception in the sense, at this phase we are going to ask some set of questions. What we are going to do here in inception phase of requirements analysis, we are going to ask set of questions. Those questions are related to a understanding of the problem, which means understanding of the project, and the people who want a solution. So, who are the customer and which kind of a solution they are expecting. Okay, that is about second question. What is coming to the third one? The nature of the solution that is desired. So for this project or for this problem, okay, which kind of solution is suitable? Okay, is it desired one or not? It is suitable to that particular problem or not? And what they are expecting, which kind of solutions they are need from developers. So like that, we are going to take some inputs to develop that particular project. And the effectiveness of preliminary communication and collaboration between customer and developer. So there is a need of a collaboration or communication in between customer and developer. Then only they'll give the effective output to a customer. If the customer will discuss with us about each and every small point related to the particular project, then only according to, okay, his point of view, then only the developer should develop the project. Okay, then there is a need of proper communication between the developers and customer. Okay, by collecting all these information in requirements gathering of inception phase. Clear? So suppose if you want to start any kind of work, okay, under somebody, at that time we are going to gather some basic questions related to that particular project. If suppose if you are going to construct a building, okay, you are the builder for that. So what you are going to ask that particular customer, what you need related to this particular construction of this particular building. Okay, how you are expecting, right? And also actually why he is developing this particular building. This is for office purpose or for home purpose or for some any other industry purpose. So like that, first of all you should understand, if a customer come to you, so you should understand the basic thing related to that particular, okay, project or building. Okay, for which purpose he wants that particular building. Okay, that building is used for a house purpose or for the for or what office purpose or some other otherwise industry purpose. Okay, like that, it's like it's a shopping mall. So which kind of purpose he wants that particular building, and what are the other requirements to construct that one. right? So like that you need to gather the information from a customer at inception phase. Coming to the elicitation means it will gather, which means it will take the all the requirements from all stakeholders, which means there are multiple number of stakeholders are there. Okay, from each and everyone you should gather the information related to that particular project. Okay, which means suppose some group of people wants to construct one shopping mall, okay, in a partnership, okay, in a partnership method. So what you have to do at that time, you will meet each and every partner related to that particular building construction. Why? Because they are earning some money on that particular project, particular building, isn't it? So that's why you should gather actually how many members are owners of this particular project. So you should take the requirements from each and everybody. Okay, and clearly based on that requirements, then you are going to start your work. Okay, don't consider one member's view. Okay, you need to take all the stakeholders, right? Next one, elaboration. At this phase you need to, okay, get ready or create some model for the gathered inputs from a stakeholders. So whatever the inputs you have gathered from a stakeholders, based on that inputs, okay, you should get ready a one model, one blueprint, one blueprint at elaboration phase, okay, to put some data and functions and behavior requirements onto that particular blueprint. Next, negotiation. So agree on deliverable systems that realistic for developers and customers. Okay, in some cases there is a, okay, necessary to compromise for something. Okay, if suppose what are the compromising things are there, some unrealistic things they were asked to develop, if it is not possible in real time, so in such a case you should convince them related to that particular, okay, possibilities and impossibilities of that particular construction, isn't it? So like that, so each and every, not only at the customer point of view, even though some developers point of view also, sometimes, okay, he asked for something more and more. At that time, okay, we should convince ourselves to work as per his interest or as per customer interest. Like that, in between the two people, customers as well as developers, okay, there is a negotiation should be, okay, I mean negotiations can be done, then only the project will come some, okay, it will give some good outcome, right? And if we'll say fifth point, that fifth point is about specifications. What it is? Specifications. So what we need, it can be any one or more the following things. Okay, you should specify Okay, a written document related to the all the related to the all the works or set of models which you have should specify clearly how many models are there to construct or to build, okay, particular project. And is there any mathematical functions, mathematical things you need to implement that particular project or not? If yes, okay, you should take care about those mathematical functions also. Clear? And next, here a collection of user scenarios. If, okay, first of all, you should give the clear picture about that project based on the use cases. Okay, specify your overall project by using use cases. Already we have seen one example about what is a use case and some what is a diagram of use case in earlier classes. Okay, represent your project by using use cases. Use case is one of a design method. Design method of a project. Before going to the implementation phase, which means coding phase, you should perform some designs. Okay, by gathering the requirements from a stakeholders. Okay, take the requirements from stakeholders. Based on that requirements, interests of a stakeholder, you need to, okay, draw some designs, which means blueprints, like blueprints. Okay, draw some designs by using a use case diagrams. Okay, and if you have, you should specify the prototype, how you are going to implement that particular overall project. You should show in that particular prototype manner. This is about a specification phase of requirements analysis. And coming to the validation phase, so what this validation phase will take her, it's a review mechanism, which means whatever we have implemented till now, till today, okay, you should ask for review of experts or technical people, or sometimes you should check your project again or individual functions. So that is a validation, which means if any kind of errors, okay, in content or in some interpretation, some working procedure, if you will check, you will find out errors or some faults for the function execution. And also this validation has areas where clarification may be required. Okay, it will specify more number of areas, okay, which need more clarification about something. Okay, and also at this phase we are going to think about missing information. We need to take care about missing information. Okay, suppose while entering some data, there is a chance to miss some, miss off some values, inputs or outputs or something, even working. Why? Uh, mm, because some typing errors may be occur. So in such a case, there is a chance to get missing information. Okay, for example, if I am collecting some data from the students, okay, student name, phone number, and his roll number, like that I'm collecting one information. So if somebody don't have the mobile number, okay, at that time What you need to put there? Just you are going to leave that is empty. Okay, just that particular student roll number and name you have entered, just leave by leaving the phone number column, isn't it? If he really doesn't have a phone number, okay, it's okay, that is a situation. I mean, it's a what a reasonable valid point. If the student has phone but he didn't enter that particular column, so such kind of things are called a missing data or missing information, isn't it? So knowingly avoiding things, right? Like that, is there any missing information is there? It's a fill of complete information related to particular thing or not. If I ask you to collect the data for each and every student, okay, so every student should fill that particular column information or not. If there is a column for male or female, okay, so like that, if he filled everything either male or female, it's okay, but he leave that particular column means what is the meaning of that? Okay, we need to take care about each and every single point related to a work. We're not going to entertain missing information. Clear? And coming to the any inconsistencies are there with your data or not? All the things should be available or not to build or to construct particular thing to fulfill that requirement. So to fulfill that work, we're going to construct some project. So to do that, do we have all the requirements? Everything is we have. If we have everything, that is consistent data. If we miss something, missing data, or it's not something, if we don't have something, it's an inconsistent one, isn't it? It's not available, means it's a inconsistent one. It's available, but at the time we don't have that one. It's a missing one, isn't it? There is a two different cases here. You should observe the small. You should observe here. Okay, missing and inconsistent is some cases those two words are same. Missing means it is available outside, but we fail to bring that one. That is called missing. Inconsistent means it is not available in even markets also, or it's not available in overall Guntur district itself. Okay, otherwise throughout the AP itself, like that, if something is there, that is inconsistent one, right? Okay, these are the validation points, and also last point is that conflicting or unrealistic requirements. Is there any conflicting requirements or unrealistic requirements are there in our project? If you use that one, is there any conflicts we are going to face in future or not? So like that, we are going to validate each and every point related to a particular module or project here. And last one is requirements management. Under the requirements engineering, the last one is you need to manage the all the requirements whichever, okay, given by a customer, whichever we need to collect to fulfill that project, to make that project. So you should manage everything related to a project. These are just okay, a brief introduction. Let us see one by one in next slides. Okay, this is the first one. Inception is the first one in, see, requirements engineering. First one is inception, second one is illustration, elaboration, negotiation. Till now just we have discussed some brief introduction. Now we are going to discuss it, I mean, clearly or elaboratively, right? Now we are in first phase in requirements engineering. Okay, that is inception. So already we have seen that what is inception. It's a starting. Inception in the sense starting. Okay, at the starting stage, what we have to do in starting phase, what we have to do. Okay, first see the first point, identify the stakeholders. So we need to identify the stakeholders, which means customer. How many customers are involved into this project? So whether those are actively participated customers or some sleeping partners. Okay, they are really okay actively participated into this particular project developing. Okay, how many members are going to involve in this one? How many members are just supporting a background or so like sleeping partners? So you should identify about stakeholders, which means if it is a small project, okay, it's a small business, small project means one person may involved, one or some family members of that particular person may involved. But if it is a big project, but it is a big project, compulsory there is a chance to involve many people, okay, in a partnership manner. In such a case, what is the project? So what are the different views of each and every stakeholder? Clear? Who is the stakeholder here? He may be a customer or client, whichever need a project or ordered for a particular project, isn't it? So he is a one person or a group of people. So if there is a group of people means take the requirements from each and every person. Should collect the requirements from each and every person mandatorily. So while collecting, while identifying the stakeholders, so what the developer need to think. So is there anybody left to talk? Is there anybody left to take the inputs from his also? Okay, if suppose four members are involved into that particular project, so if you will go for first person and take the inputs, second person take the, sir, what you are expecting from this project, tell me, based on your requirements I am going to develop. So like that, first person, second person, third person, like fourth person, each and everybody you are individually you will communicate with each and everybody and take the inputs from that related to that project, then only you should start that project. Okay, and while identifying that stakeholders, ask those people, is there any other persons who is going to add, okay, more number of requirements related to that particular project or not? Like that, we should take care about the stakeholders, isn't it? Coming to the second one, recognize multiple points of view. Okay, so think, or if they are telling about a project, you need to think in a different ways what they are exactly needed related to that project, what's their point of view, how we should implement that one. So like that, you should check that problem statement in multiple number of views. Okay, if he asked to develop one project, he is giving some what questions or the features to you. So you should think for each and every feature how it is going to be implemented, whether it is exactly suited to that particular project or not. Is it possible to implement that particular feature into that project or not? Like that, you need to think about that particular project in multiple number of ways and work towards collaboration, which means all together sit at one place and you should work collaboratively. Okay, so all should work collaboratively. And the first questions, I mean, whatever the questions you need to take from the stakeholders, who is behind the request for this work? So, which persons need this project work? Which person need this project work? And second one, who will use this solution if we develop this project? Which kind of people is going to use that particular project? So first, what is the first point here? What is the who is the owner of this project? Who is the owner of this work? And what is the second point here? Okay, who is the end user to use after developing this project? After developing this project, who are going to use that particular project? Next, the third one is what will be the economic benefit of a successful solution? If we want to find a successful solution, so how they are going to get the benefit towards that particular project? I have developed one site. Uh, I have you have developed one particular public website, and you have hand over to that website to a particular organization. So how they are going to get benefit from their customers? Okay, so now you are going to develop a website for some educational institute. Means, so who is the owner of that educational institute? That is the first point. And who is going to use the solution? If I have developed a website particular educational institute, who are going to use that one? Maybe a students or student parents is going to open that particular website, or staff who are involved or worked for that particular educational institute, isn't it? So those are the people or end users. And if you are you should think, if I am developing one website to that particular educational institute, how they are going to get benefit through that particular website? Okay, they are going to provide their information into that particular website about that I mean, uh, whatever the things which are available into that educational institute. Okay, they are going to produce through that particular website. Okay, they are going to show the suppose building, faculties, infrastructures, okay, or everything, location, everything to the students and student parents. So that's why they are in need of one website. So like that, they are asked you to develop a project, isn't it? In this manner, you should think about one project. And lastly, is there another source for the solution that you need? Okay, is there any another sources are there to provide the solution instead of developing an app? Like that, you should take care about a project. This is about a inception phase, starting phase of a requirements analysis or requirements gathering to a particular project. And if we'll see the next slide, elicitation. Okay, eliciting requirements. So here we are going to, already we have seen the brief introduction in first slide. Now we are going to discuss in detailed manner. If you will see the first point, what is the first points? You are going by gathering the requirement. First of all, you should conduct the meetings. Meetings are conducted and attended by both software engineers and customers to get more number of requirements. There is a need of a meeting in between developers and customer. This is a gathering of more and more requirements. And coming to the second phase, rules for preparation and participation. So, what are the rules to for preparation of a particular project and participation into the meetings or to establish a project? Next, an agenda suggested. What is the agenda to implement this one? Agenda to execute this project. Next, a facilitator, which means there is a need of one person to conduct or to controls the meeting every time. He may be a architect, or he may be a customer, he may be a developer, or he may be an outsider to that particular project. Okay, he is representing the meeting every time he called for customers and developers. Okay, to share the views in between. Okay, for to to progress the work which we are working on, isn't it? So that's why almost the facilitator may be a project manager, or he may be a what architect, which means designer. So he asked the developers as well as the clients or customers. Okay, he's inviting for a meeting, right? Next, a definition mechanism is used. What if they are going to use? A definition mechanism is used in gathering requirements, which means, okay, we are going to, okay, get readying a worksheets related to your project. Okay, flip charts, some chart kind of works you are going to develop, or some wall stickers. So while using some wall sticker, you need to start some project work. Okay, this is the first phase, this is the second phase, this is the third phase. From this phase we are going to take these kinds of things to develop this one. Okay, it will take this much of time to complete, and this much of cost we need, budget we need. So like that everything, okay, should take care about in a definition mechanism. Next, the goals, the goals of this particular which means requirements gathering is to identify the problem. First we should identify the what is the problem, which means if somebody asked, some educational institute came to you to develop one project, one website, okay, which which exhibit their information through that particular website, then you should understand, okay, this is the problem. He wants to exhibit his information through this website to the students. So like that you should understand everything. Next, propose elements to the elements of the solution. So you need to show which kind of elements you need to find a solution, or which is suitable to this solution. Next, negotiate different approaches. So if already we have seen about this negotiation. So what it is, if you have multiple number of approaches, so better which approach you are going to take, which one you are going to choose based on the requirements of particular customer. Okay, each and everyone approach would have some pros and cons, or otherwise some advantages and some disadvantages, isn't it? So we should negotiate at that time. We should compromise some disadvantages too if you want to develop in such a cases some small flaws or drawbacks in such particular but approaches would have. You need to compromise at that situation, isn't it? That is called negotiation. And last point is specify a preliminary set of solutions requirements. You need to take, or you need to specify the starting set of solutions for that particular problem. And these requirements will show in a small activity diagram in next page. See, this is called a activity diagram in UML. UML is one subject. Okay, unified modeling language. That subject purely about a designing of a project. Okay, designing part of a project. So in the designing part, this is the one kind of designing, which means activity diagram. So use case diagrams, class diagrams, what activity diagrams, sequence diagrams, like that many diagrams are there. I think nine or something. Okay, diagrams are available to represent a project project designs or project solutions, okay, or problems, anything. So among them, this is the activity diagram. So by this activity diagrams, we are going to just here we are telling about a basic points about a requirements, or eliciting requirements, which means we are gathering more requirements towards that particular project. Inception phase we are going to gather, but inception phase only basic requirements we have gathered there at that phase. But in second phase we are going to gather clearly, okay, more and more points related to that particular project. So if you'll see, this is the starting, this what circle symbol, this symbol is called starting phase, and this is the activity, what arrow. So here we are having, suppose, wait a moment, right? Okay, this is the illicit requirements. What it is? Illicit requirements. This means going to gather more number of requirements towards that project. This is starting. Okay, this is the ending point of this illicit requirements. It is represented in some shape, like oval shape, right? And this total is illicit requirements process has this number of steps again. Okay, what is the first step here? Conduct fast meetings. In first step we have some conduction of fast meetings. Second one, okay, make list of functions and classes. What is the second one? You should make the list of functions, what you are going to do into that particular project, and how many number of classes are there. Okay, so like that you should get ready a functions list, what you have, if what you have to do related to that particular project, isn't it? And in this second phase, here we are going to miss list of constraints in the sense rules or regulations towards that project. Conditions, rules and regulations or conditions are called a constraints to develop that particular project, isn't it? So after developing these three, okay, next it is divided into a two one. First one is formal prioritization. If it's a yes, you are going to develop, use DFDs to prioritize requirements. So if we want to some formal kind of, formal kind of representation there, you should represent DFDs. No, those QFDs. Okay, this is QFDs also a diagrams. One kind of diagrams. These are used to represent a formal requirements here. If there is no need of some prioritization into that works, then you are going to move. Which one? That is informal prioritization requirements. What you have to do here? Informal prioritization requirements. Then after completion of this both, either one of these, the based on the formal prioritization condition. So again, you're going to create a use cases. At this use case step, again it will be having the activities like this. What is the first one here? Draw use case diagram for a module or for overall architecture. Then this drawing of use case diagram has again three phases or three parts. Define the actors related to that particular project, write scenarios, and a complete template. So if you will finish off these three works, then you should finish off this draw use case part. If you will complete this overall part, then you are going to end this creation of use cases work. Whenever you finish, you reach to this step, automatically this is going at this step. Okay, like this. This is just activities, how the activities are going to perform in gathering of requirements. What does this diagram represent? How, okay, the activities are involved, okay, to complete a task. What is the task here? Gathering of more requirements towards that particular project, isn't it? That's the gathering of requirements one. Okay, so this is about two. Until now, we have finished off two phases in requirements engineering. First one is inception, second one is eliciting. Okay. In tomorrow's, now I'm going to stop the class here. In next session, we are going to discuss the remaining phases of a requirements engineering.